I'm not stopping. All right, so number 5. Oh, and while I'm doing a review, like going over specific problems, I shouldn't hear side conversations because some people care about this and they need to be able to hear what I'm saying. 9 plus 6 cubed.
Yeah.
So you have this on your paper. You can just do it on your paper. All right, so all of these problems after number 3, they all can be done with this. You'll start at different places and you'll do different steps, but they all follow. Even number 1 actually follows along. Like I said, it just has variables, not numbers. So step 1, do I have distributive property? First I look at the left side. Do I have distributive property on the left? No, I do not. I can't wait on you guys. There's no parentheses on the left, so I can't have the distributive property. On the right, do I have the distributive property on the right? Well, yeah, I got parentheses and I got a number times those, so I can do the distributive property. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to rewrite this side because there's nothing I can do over here. I'm actually done on this side because all I have is a variable, a term with a variable, and a term with no variable, so I can't combine those. There's nothing I can do on the left. I'm already done with the left side. So I'm just looking at the right side now. Well, I can distribute that. I can say 3 times q is 3 cubed. So that was just multiplying the first 2 terms. Then, for the distributive property, which will be up during the test tomorrow, I multiplied 3 times 9. And there's no negative sign or subtraction or anything, so the signs are easy. So that's 27. I won't make any intentional mistakes today, so you can write it down if you're using pen. Keep up. So now, I'm all ready to step 4. Because over here, wait, I'm sorry, no I'm not. I'm on step 3 because I have variables on both sides. So I have a q over here and a q over here. So I'm on step 3 on your sheet if you're following along, or when you watch it. I want to look at the term that has the lowest coefficient. So 3 is less than 6. So I want to start with this term and move these to the left side. I do that, and again, on step 3, it tells you it's going to be addition or subtraction. In this case, it's subtraction because that's a positive 3q. I need these signs to always be opposite of each other. If you don't have that on your sheet or in your notes, you need to make sure you have that because I'm getting that mistake a lot. People are putting the same sign. That would just be combining them, not canceling them out. So if I do negative 3 or subtract 3 over here, I got to do subtract 3q over here. I'm sorry, subtract 3q. Well, that leaves me with 3q. And so now I can bring down the 9. I still have plus 3q. Greater than or equal to, I got rid of that, so I don't have that anymore. So I just have this equation now. Now I'm on to step 4. Whoever was next, yep. On step 4, it tells me again, what do I need to do? It says, look at the term that doesn't have your variable. Oh, well, first of all, it says, look at the side of the equation where your variable is. So my variable is not over here, it's over here. So I need to focus on this side of the equation. And then it says, okay, well, on that side of the equation, now focus on the term that doesn't have your variable, which would be this one. My variable's there, I save that for last. So I need to focus on this. And then it tells you again, this step is going to be addition or subtraction. And it needs to be the opposite. So if that's positive 9, I need to subtract 9, which will get rid of it. That's our whole goal. We're trying to get q by itself, so we're getting everything away from the q, away from the variable. Well, if I subtract 9 here, I got to subtract 9 there. All right, so this goes away. My 3q I didn't do anything with, so that just comes down. And that's going to be greater than or equal to 27 subtract 9, which is 18. So now I'm done with step 4. I go to step 5. So on step 5, again, read on your steps sheet. Well, step 5 tells me I'm going to need to divide. It says divide or multiply. It's really pretty much always divide. Even if you have a fraction, you can still divide by that fraction. So I need to divide by the coefficient. If you forget tomorrow what a coefficient is, it's up on that sheet. It actually also says it on your step sheet too, what a coefficient is. So 3 is the coefficient in this case. So I divide through by 3. I divide through by 3. This would go to 1, so I'd just be left with the q. And q would be greater than or equal to, oh, wrong, 6. So that's number, what was it, 5?
6.
It's number 5 on mine. Number 6 on yours. Yes, I'm glad you said that because I already deleted out one of the problems. So on mine it's number 5. So if I said 5, I was wrong. On yours it's number 6. What's the one trick you need to watch for if you're doing an inequality at this last step? Yeah, if you divide through by a negative right here, you would have flipped the sign. We didn't divide through by negative. We just divided through by a positive, so we didn't have to worry about it. So that would have been, now, again, your grade on this problem comes from all of that, not from writing down q is greater than or equal to 6. Because you need to show me you can do it, not that you can memorize an answer. So this will get you pretty much nothing. You could get this wrong, but do most of this correct and still get a B on that problem. Still get almost all the credit on that problem. So that'll be up there for you to watch. I'll post all of these right after class today. All right, so we did 5. I think we did 6. Well, 7 on your sheet. We did 7 on your sheet. All right, so I'm not going to solve this one for you, but I will give you the setup to it quickly. So this is number, I think, 10 on yours, maybe? This is 8? Oh, all right. Oh, I skipped from 6 to 9. Oh, I corrected it already. All right, so you have this problem. What you should notice about this problem is you've got 2 signs. Instead of just one equal sign or one greater than or one inequality sign, you've got 2 inequality signs. What that means, anybody know what that means? When you go to solve it? What's that? What number is this?
8.
On your sheet? 8. My sheet is off, the numbering is off, because I deleted out some of the problems already. So this is number 8, I guess. Does anybody know what that means when you have 2 inequality signs, or it could have been 2 equal signs technically, I guess. You'll never see that. It's not a standard.
And.
Well, in this case it is and. Actually, you know what? It will always be and. You can't write an or with 2 of them. So yeah, it means you're going to have an and statement. If you write or, you've got to have the word or in it. We talked about that, I think. So this means I'm going to have 2 separate equations that I'm then going to have to solve, and my final solution will be based on combining those and putting them on one graph. And you do have to graph. You'll see there are little graphs on there. So my 2 equations would be -2 is less than or equal to 2x subtract 4, and then my other equation is 2x subtract 4. I always keep this twice, is less than 8. So when you go through and solve it, you're going to have a graph here and a graph here. Let me solve it out real quick and I'll come back to you. So this graph, like whatever my numbers are, I don't know what the answer is, so don't, actually I'm not even going to write numbers so I don't confuse you. So this is my graph, and on this graph it said, well, x has to be greater than or equal to these numbers. So it goes that way. Well, this graph, it may say, or it does say, x has to be less than or equal to these numbers. On the OR problems, you would have just done this on the same graph because it's the solutions from both of them. On the AND, though, you have to take the section of both graphs where they overlap. So overlapping means you've shaded it in both graphs. So I shaded it from this number here this way. I shaded it on this graph, but not on this. So that's not going to be part of my solution. Over here, same thing. I shaded it this way from here but I didn't shade it there, so there's no overlap there. It's not shaded on both graphs. You only want your final answer to be the area that is shaded on both graphs, which in this case is just this middle section right here. That's the only place where you have shading in both graphs. So again, I'm not putting the numbers there. Frankly, I haven't solved it out for the numbers there, but that's what the final graph would look like. Something like that. You just have to know what the numbers are. Any if you have, okay, Kat, you got a question? Did you have a question? Okay. I mean, again, I know I'm going fast, but that's because I'm recording it. So I'll post it immediately, although it may take a while to shrink the file.
What's the name of the video?
You're gonna have to look this up, and then when you look, and remember, actually, you have to put the quotation marks in. If you just type this part in, it will not come up.
Okay.
You have to put the quotes in. So.
So I'm saying like, okay, that's not gonna be uploaded by tonight. So how does that gonna work with you?
Well, that will help you because this is all about solving an equation. But in this video, it has my name. Just click on my name, or like Mr. Gill. Click on that, and then it takes you to all my other videos. So then all of these videos that I'm doing right now, what? I did 3, I think. With the quotes? I'll do it in a second. Just let me get through a couple more
You
problems.
looked it up? Yes, I just looked it up. Is it on there?
You put the
Oh,
quote.
I found it.
Oh. I was going to say, I did it earlier and it worked. Now, I didn't do it from a phone, but I did it from my computer.
10 subscribers.
We talked about 9 already. I'm not doing 9. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. I think that was 9 though on yours. Yeah. 10. 10 is going to be on there, all right? I'm not solving 10 out for you. You need to figure 10 out on your own, but it's going to be on the quiz.
Is it this?
Should say Mr. Gill. Oh yeah, that's all. Yeah, that's all of them. Yeah,
Mr. Gill.
it's Mr. Gill, but I think there's more to it.
No, that's it.
And there is no. I mean, you guys keep asking. There's no money involved in this for me at all.
That's not what
Trust
I'm
me.
like.
Well, I'm not saying you were saying that, but so I'm like, no, I don't get anything for posting videos and have you guys watch them.
But it's, I want to see the video.
What's that?
I'm always be finished.
Okay, yeah, we got it. Let's go through more problems. The more problems I get through, the better off you are tomorrow. So number 10, again, number 10 is going to be on the test, but I'm not doing it. You got to figure that one out on your own. And it's guaranteed to be on there, so I spent some time working on it. All right, so now look at number 11. Number 11 is more complex, but this is one like we've done before. This one I'm going to have you guys work with me a little bit on it, because I think you can figure this out as a group. So, does anybody want to read it out loud?
Me, I wait.
All right. That was Savannah, right?
Wait.
Number, I think it's number 10 on yours. It's a Hannah, the one that starts with Hannah.
Oh, I can do it. I can do it.
All right, somebody.
Hannah, wait, you want us to read the whole thing or just-
Just read the whole thing.
Hannah wants to buy a $570 camera. She can save $50 each week from her paycheck. However, before Hannah can buy the camera, she must give her brother $80 that she owes him. For how many weeks until Hannah needs to save before she can pay back her brother and buy the camera?
All right, so I encourage you, before you even start freaking out about the math part, think about, do that, do cubes. I want you to do that. I might even give credit for you just doing that on the test. I haven't decided, because it says to do that anyway on the test. It depends on how many points I make this worth. The more points I make it worth, the more I can give credit. But then if somebody doesn't do that, then they lose out on a lot of credit, on a lot of points. So yes, definitely do that for sure. But just think.